Hi, Rob Meads back with this week's video update on the renovation here at Worthington Country Club. This week's video is going to be a little bit longer than the previous ones for a couple of reasons I'll explain later. But in the meantime, I'm pleased to have with me Ricky Nix. You met Ricky before. He's the architect behind the renovation here. And I have a few questions about the greens. Ricky, I was with the drone the other day and I noticed on hole number 12, as I flew over, the drainage that they've put in, the drainage pipes that lead to the center.
Right.
I assume that the drain goes from there to someplace else.
It does. It connects to the internal drainage system that ultimately goes to one of the lakes out here, and is fed directly back to the irrigation system for use on the golf course, so we capture the water twice. The drainage system on the greens is built to USGA guidelines, and they have a very specific pattern that the drainage system is installed in on the greens. We call it a herringbone system, and it's on 15-foot center, so there's a pipe every 15 feet within the floor of the green.
And that helps with all the drainage.
Right, and we use a 4-inch solid wall pipe, perforated pipe, and around that pipe we use granite rock. The reason we use the granite, it is a lot harder rock than the rock that we find here in Florida, which is a limestone-based rock that is nowhere near, like I say, as hard or comparable to the granite rock.
And where does that rock come in from?
Right, the granite rock is either comes in from North Carolina or northern Georgia by rail into Tampa, and then from Tampa we truck it to here. They crush it in Tampa to a particular size that the USGA wants the granite rock to be. By that I mean it has a very specific particle size distribution, and when we put what we call the greens mix on top of that, which is a 12-inch layer on top of the granite rock, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, which is a 4-inch layer. The granite rock is uniformly 4 inches on top of the putting surface, and then we put the 12 inches of sand and peat mixed to a, I think, 85-15 ratio here at Worthington, and those bridge properly. What the bridging is it doesn't allow too many of the particles of sand to migrate in through the granite rock and in theory clog up the drainage system. So the USGA has come up with a really good guideline for the particle size of the sand as well as the particle sizes of the rock, the granite rock, so that they bridge properly and don't clog up one another, and in theory will drain forever.
So is the next stage then to put that peat on top of the granite?
Correct. The sand and peat goes on top of the granite. Once we put what we call the herringbone system in the green, then we put the 4-inch granite layer on it, and then the 12 inches of USGA spec mix, what we call, and the grass goes on top of that.
And at what stage do you start putting the grass on? Are we weeks away yet?
Yeah, we're weeks away.
Okay.
We're just now getting the irrigation system installed in a lot of the areas and up and running. So we're actually going to start putting some sod around tees and bunker complexes next week, but around the greens we're probably still 4 weeks away.
Okay, well, Ricky, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking your time to explain that to the members, because I know I've had a few questions that I can't answer, and I know this gentleman can. So thanks very much for your time, and we'll see you again somewhere down the road with other things that are going on.
And I really enjoyed I've been enjoying your weekly updates. Very well done, and
I appreciate
that. I
that.
hope the members are enjoying it also. So.
I'm getting an excellent feedback, so I do
Great.
appreciate that.
Right.
I'll be back in a few minutes with another special guest, but in the meantime, I want you to see some of the other things going on around the golf course.
Blame
Thanks again to Ricky Nix for giving us a much better understanding of what's going on around the greens at this stage of the renovation. As I mentioned earlier, this particular update is going to be a little longer than the previous ones for a couple of reasons. Number one, there's just so much going on around this golf course, it's hard to keep up with everything. And number two, I have a second interview for you. If you remember last week, we talked about capillary concrete, which is going in all the bunkers around the golf course. Well, I ran into the man in charge of the North American operations for capillary concrete, Ted Fist. Ted was kind enough to spend a few minutes with me and give us a better understanding of capillary concrete. So here's my interview with Ted Fist. Ted, nice to have you here.
Well, I appreciate being here. Thanks so much, and I'm excited to be part of this. It's been a lot of fun, and the guys are doing a great job already today. This is our first installation.
It looks amazing. So tell us a little about this capillary concrete. What's it all about? What's the material?
Sure. Capillary concrete was developed by Martin Sternberg in Sweden, and he had some challenges with trying to maintain quality bunkers, reducing erosion, reducing sedimentation into his bunkers and any contamination. So the challenge especially that he had, he kind of struggled with the maintenance and the staffing that he had. He really didn't have a lot of guys to care for the bunkers. And generally in the United States, we struggle with labor force to care for a hazard. So one of the unique products with capillary concrete, it does drain at about 800 inches an hour. It will stabilize the sand, reduce subgrade contamination, and significantly reduce the amount of time the guys have to spend caring for the bunkers so they can focus on other parts of the golf course.
Well, we'll certainly test that 800 gallons an hour coming up here in June and July. How thick do you apply this?
Our product's applied at 2 inches uniformly. The guys use some probes to make sure it stays at 2 inches. Normally, Argos Ready Mix is our ready mix supplier on this, and we'll bring 9 yards per truck, and that 9 yards should cover 1,350 square feet per load. And we just finished this last truck in just about an hour.
And you have that many more bunkers to go. This is the very first one.
Yep, very first one. So another truck's on its way. It should be here in about 15 minutes.
And tell us a little about the capillary force
Okay.
that goes on with the concrete.
Sure. So a very unique characteristic of capillary concrete is that we have the ability to provide some moisture to the sand. When the sand starts to dry out, we can feed some moisture through capillary action. That sand will pull moisture from the 2-inch layer on the faces. Additionally, in the floors, because we tend to regulate moisture, when the floors are exceptionally wet after a rain event, we actually can draw some moisture out of the sand to help dry the sand a little bit. So instead of having these very wet, very dry conditions, we actually kind of regulate the moisture a little bit as well.
And I understand that this capillary concrete also reduces stuff coming back up through, whether it's shells and the weeds.
Yeah, we've got our strength rating somewhere, depending on the aggregate size and the shape, we've rated up to about 1,200 psi. Which is pretty strong. I mean, you know, nothing's going to be 1,200 psi in a bunker.
Not coming out of the weeds, no. I understand that Annika Sorstam's involved in the company. Can you tell us what is her position and how'd she get involved?
Well, you know, she retired from professional golf and was looking for another part-time job. So no, not seriously. She's a part owner. She owns 50% of the U.S. company and actually the international company. So she's been great for us. She's a great ambassador, and we're very excited about some of the potential opportunities we have with capillary concrete. We're kind of experimenting in sports fields, tee construction to reduce irrigation on tees. Head injury impact on sports fields is something we're looking at as well, with being able to regulate the moisture inside the sand layer in a sports field, something that we're really excited about.
I understand the company is based in Sweden, correct?
The parent company's in Sweden. We have an office in Orlando, which we work out of Annika's office here.
And how many golf courses in the U.S. or in North America, and then how many golf courses worldwide have we done? We
are at about 140 golf courses now. I've done in the last 2 days. We've done 2, and I've got another one tomorrow. So we're actually, I think today we're doing about 8 golf courses across the U.S. at different locations. So we're about 140 in the U.S. And total we're approaching 400.
Wow, 400 golf courses. That is one load of bunkers.
Yeah, it's a lot of bunkers.
Well, I really appreciate your time, Ted. It was great having you here, and as this progresses, I'm sure we'll see you again around the golf course.
Absolutely.
This is just one of, you know how many bunkers we have here?
I don't know. I don't know. We deal with cubic yards, so I don't know about how many square feet.
Yeah. Well, I will see you around the golf course.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Thanks very much for being here.
You bet.
My thanks to Ted Fist for his time, as well as sharing his knowledge on this very important component to the bunkers. Just remember one thing. Even with all the benefits that capillary concrete brings to the bunkers, do yourself a favor. Try to avoid hitting in them. I'll be back in just a minute. In the meantime, we're going to take a look at a few other areas that are being worked on around the course. Well, I hope you're making it a sunny day. You know, here we are at just the 89th day since the first application of Roundup. And whether you're across the ocean or you've gone up north or you're still here within the community, my hope is that these video updates give you a sense of the progress of the transformation, as well as learn about the complexities and what's involved in renovating a golf course. Again, my thanks to Ricky Nix and to Ted Fist for their contributions to this week's update. It was kind of like having two updates in one, hence the extra added time. Thanks again for watching. I'll be back next week. In the meantime, this is Rob Meads. Go make it a sunny day. Take care.